Welcome to the fish tent.
Yeah, a fish tent. I have never seen a fish tent. Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am with Danny. Say hello.
Hi, Dan. Oh.
Hi, Danny. I'll say hi to yourself.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm Danny, and this is my house / fish room, fish tent. I think I've got.
You have the world's smallest fish room.
I think I do. I've managed to take hoarding to a new level and pack it in.
We're gonna start in the house though with a couple of tanks in the house, and then we're gonna go look at the world's smallest fish room. A 125-gallon community tank.
Yes, and this was actually the first tank I got as the re-entry into the hobby. I say re-entry. I've had fish on and off my whole life. As a kid, was always really into ponds and koi and had some goldfish in tanks. And then in my 20s, had my first community tank surrounded around Betta and some fancy goldfish. But koi have always been a staple for me, so my re-entry back into aquariums was about 2 years ago when I needed to bring some koi from my pond in for the winter. And these plants would not have survived, so these have all come since then. But that's where this started. I brought this guy home, a deal through a friend, but a steal of a deal.
Those are the best kind.
Yes, and I've kind of decided from the get-go that I wanted this to be a big planted community tank. And at one time I thought South American, but I kind of seem to be across the board here between rainbow fish, and I do have some South American species between the blue Colombian tetras.
Yeah, I think you're pretty underrated. This is probably the first time I've seen them in a fish room.
Really?
In all the tours that I've done.
Yeah, I work very close to Aquarium Co-op, and they have an amazing selection, and the staff there has been so knowledgeable and kind of turned me on to them. They weren't really a showstopper in the tank, but I found bringing them home and feeding them and giving them kind of a good environment, they really color up fast, and they're pretty. After eating, they color up, and you can feed after a while and get some of that footage.
And it looks like you have some pretty awesome rainbows in here too.
I do have some awesome rainbows, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm learning my scientific names, but Melanotania trifasciata goiter river.
That's it.
Awesome. Yeah, they're beautiful, and I'm obsessed now. Seeing them in person is an experience like no other. And
yeah, when I look at it at the tank, even just looking at it through the camera, it's a huge difference. Like,
yeah.
They're all washed out. Oh, there's one fired up, kind of.
Yeah.
Still pretty young, though.
Yeah, I haven't fed them today, so maybe after we feed them, I know they're flashy in the morning, but yeah, they colored up, and he actually, I think it's that male there, put on his breeding dress and started chasing around the females. At least 2 females confirmed that very first morning after I brought him home from picking him up from Bob.
All right.
But yeah, it's been fun. The angelfish kind of came in last before the rainbows, and they've immediately kind of paired off and started spawning, and this is their second go around. Maybe someday we'll take a run at bringing them out and see if I can raise them up, but for now, just letting them do their thing and establish learning how to be parents.
Yeah, this is like my favorite way to do tanks. I know all the plants are still in pots, but like when I look at this, I don't even see the pots. I just see plants, rocks, wood. I love it. I tend
to like to do a large plant order at once, and as much as I would like to say I could skate the tank in 15 minutes, it always takes way longer. So yeah, I'll get a big plant order, throw it in there, and I kind of like to see how the plant's gonna do before I plant it, before I go through that work.
Yeah, especially I hate when they're in pots. I hate rock wool. It's so annoying.
It is.
Especially if you're doing a large order like all of these.
Yes. So I've
takes so long to get all that out.
Unbundled a lot, but for now, I just got this order in last week. So this weekend is actually planting and some other fun projects. Always projects in the fish room.
All right. So plants got you into the hobby.
Yes, and being able to keep them underwater. This tank in particular doesn't house a lot of plants because, well, goldfish. But the plan for this guy is actually, once it warms up a little bit, to send him outside to my other goldfish and koi to live in the pond. So we're just waiting for the Pacific Northwest to
Warm up a little?
Warm up a little bit, and then he'll go out with his friends, and I can do something a bit more.
Now, people are going to ask, but that's not CO2.
It is not CO2. I don't have any high-tech tanks. I don't run any CO2 at all. But I was talking with Bob earlier, I do really enjoy kind of some of the CO2 diffusers and the finer bubbles.
I like how this is growing underwater.
Yeah, that was just kind of a happy surprise. I figured some of those leaves that were originally grown outside, like these here, would die off, but it just kind of keeps going, and the fish like to hang out up in there. It catches some of the food and they munch on it, and everything seems to be, or at least what's left, okay with this particular goldfish. And I don't plan to really do much else with this, despite how front and center it is in our house, until he goes outside. But that'll be a fun project.
And then you're going to turn it into a...
I seem to like community tanks, and I really love Bob's rainbow fish, and
Hey, buddy.
so does Groot. And so another community tank kind of surrounding around another species of rainbow fish.
Can't go wrong with those.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out the next one. All right, so next we got another 55 on a stand.
Yes, and this is another offer-up find. This is actually the 55 that the goldfish came in, and it had this original blue gravel and some fake plants and fake decor. And I salvaged some of that stuff to use with them. I've kept this one pretty plain and reuse the gravel for now, because I don't plan to keep these guys in here long term. This being a 55, they're really gonna, they're gonna get big. They're getting big quick already, and they're gonna need a 125 or larger.
I really like this one here.
Yeah, he from the very beginning was the best looking. These are actually all originally from a Petco or a PetSmart. I wouldn't call them a rescue, because I know it's a controversial topic, but they definitely were getting picked on pretty heavily. It was a pretty overstocked tiny tank, and they were stressed out, especially I have one more of these guys, that you'll see shortly, that was particularly stressed out, and because of it, was a bit stunted, stopped kind of eating, was getting picked on by these guys, so she's been spending some time in court. I really don't know if she's a she, I call her a she, but kind of catching up to these guys. But these are my monsters, my little puppy dogs. I really enjoy them, their personalities. They are kind of like little dogs. Welcome to the fish tent.
Yeah, a fish tent. I have never seen a fish tent. And what's the dimensions on this?
This is a 4-foot wide by 8-foot long by 6-foot high grow tent. And I got this off of Amazon for the purpose of growing vegetables for our garden, starting them earlier in the season, which quickly turned into housing my house plants. And what better than a little humidity for the house plants? I figured maybe add a few tanks, and a few tanks has turned into a lot of tanks to go with my many plants.
This is really cool. I don't know how I'm gonna fit here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take some of these
First,
plants out.
let me move the cat so you can have some room. Let's see.
All right, so you moved some of the plants out, so maybe I can fit now. And let's start on this wall here.
Yeah, this is my rack of kind of small planted nanos. They range, they're various vases or fish bowls, rimless tanks, but they range anywhere from 2 gallons up to 5 gallons. And right now, mostly house my males and some of my female bettas, as well as some live elements, live plants, and kind of slowly adding some reasonable micro community tank mates like snails or small nano fish. But for now, this rack in particular is mostly just fish and snails.
Again, you got the pothos growing underwater. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's great for starting new house plants. Fish tanks, people, it's a secret.
Do you breed bettas or?
Not yet, and I'm not opposed to it. And you can always tell which ones are my newer ones. I tend to do the start as a quarantine, turn it into a tank method, hence why I have so many tanks. So the ones that aren't really fully planted yet are some of my newer bettas. So they get the inaugural planted full meal deal when they show me what
running air stones in them. I like it.
Yeah, I do the air stones with a little pre-filter and a weight, and it kind of acts as a little mini sponge filter, which is less invasive than the Nano sponges.
Yep, I've done the same thing. It works good.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like we got the other Oscar over here.
Yeah, this is an albino tiger Oscar. She shows a little bit more coloration than most albinos. But yeah, she went through her round of medication and is just eating up a storm, and eventually, hopefully, will join the other two in a 125 or larger. But for now, she's in a 20 long, and she gets a couple water changes a week to keep up with her and her big appetite.
Now you got a heater in here. Actually,
do.
in a lot of these, do you not heat the room?
I don't heat the room specifically. Between the lights and the air pumps and just being the grow tent itself, it tends to keep the room about 73 to 78 degrees. Obviously, if the door is open, it'll dip down, and I keep a little temperature gauge there.
What do we got down here?
Down here, this is a 20 long divided tank that I have 4 of my male betas in with some small community fish. I have some exclamation point rasboras, some strawberry rasboras, and some cherry shrimp, and a couple meerite snails.
Now I recognize these dividers.
Yes,
Life with Pets. Yep.
Sheila. They are the best dividers by far. They're so easy. The lids for the Oscar tank up there were my attempt to DIY her style, and I just said screw it. She does it so quick, come to my door in no time.
So we got, looks like a community tank.
Yeah, this is just a kind of a quarantine tank. These guys have all made it through the quarantine process, but just kind of going a little bit longer. Some harlequins, some pork chop rasboras, some bronze cories, a couple bristlenose plecos, another male beta, again, what was originally a nano quarantine tank has turned into...
And this is a triangle, is it, right?
Yeah, these are the little Aquarium triscapes.
Oh.
I call them a size 3, and I think I did a measurement test at one point, I don't remember. It's somewhere between 3 and 5 gallons. And those are some celestial pearl danios, small little colony.
And then what do we got down here?
This
Oh,
is...
I'm gonna have to move.
Shift. Alright, so this one is my female beta sorority. It's another 20 long, which actually started out as a plant storage tank. Again, dual purpose. But the plants make a great kind of boundary and safe places for the female betas to where I have a pretty high success rate if I just keep it densely planted and lightly
How many
stocked.
are in here?
There's 5.
5.
And then there's a large school of emperor tetras and a large school of, I think those are the green neon tetras.
Now every time I show this, people always ask, that's the octopus?
Yeah, pogo salmon octopus.
Yeah.
I think. I've got a couple of them growing
Always
up
a
in there.
favorite.
I love them, and they definitely are beautiful with a CO2 system. They kind of maintain a little bit more of that solid shape to get kind of that leggy look in my system. But the fish love them, and I don't necessarily go for the straight aquascape look. It's kind of
Yeah, me neither.
beautiful chaos.
They're pretty unrealistic too, to be honest. I mean, the amount of time.
Yeah, I don't have the time. I just kind of, and I like the algae that it kind of produces.
So, I don't know, it's hard to really see how small this is. I like the lights around the top. This is like just a little sanctuary.
Spend a lot of nights here tinkering around, putting up stuff to kind of, putting up lights to make it a bit more automated. But yeah, it kind of maintains its own. Got a dehumidifier just in case, but the humidity.
I see some empty tanks down here.
Yeah, I've got many empty tanks. I'm out of space unless I go vertical here. But you never know. If there's a will, there's a way. I've gotten this far.
This is really cool. I'm kind of in shock.
Yeah.
Not shocked, but you know what I mean.
That's awesome. I feel proud. I like it. I like to come in and sit on the floor and have a pretty stressful job. So this is kind of my therapy room, so to speak. I have a male beta. I love these. These are my favorite breeder boxes.
Yeah, sometimes they go really cheap too on Amazon.
Yeah, I haven't seen this particular size and style in a while with the air, but when I see them, I want a couple more.
I always hoard them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're outside now, obviously, and it looks like you have some tubs.
Yeah, this houses some of my, one of the 55s actually originally came with 12 of these common goldfish, and I've since upgraded them out here to the ponds. These guys just went through their first winter outside, doing good, and a couple of my koi. These ones are the larger ones of the bunch, and the smaller ones are up top, and this is a work in progress. All the plants are dormant right now, but in the summer it will have some kind of cascading water features, and this will be set up as the filtration for the whole system. So, projects.
So we are done. This is incredible. 8 by 6 by 4?
Yes, 4 by 8 by 6 foot high.
That's crazy. Well, you've done a lot with it. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Are you ever going to go bigger?
Probably. I definitely have the multiple tank syndrome, as you can tell.
How long have you been working on it?
I've been back in the hobby for, with tanks, about 1.5 years. With fish, about 2 years with the pond outside. But this particular setup here has been about 6 months.
So you said you work by the co-op.
I do.
How often do you stop there?
Weekly. I'm a frequent flyer. They know me by first name now.
Yeah, I used to work by there too, so I know how it is.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely spend a lot of my time, and I've learned a lot from, watching you and the co-op and many of the other channels, and such led to a lot of this. And I look forward to keep going and doing some fun projects with some maybe species only and some new communities and
breeding
and tubbing, all of the above.
All right, well, thanks for having me out here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day. Okay.
I sometimes look in there.
I do.
And
yeah,
then I look stupid.
catch myself.
Yeah, no, like when you're talking, I look up here to see you, and then when I edit it, I'm like.